Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning. Look at me being consistent with this. That is so awesome. Man. All right. Somebody told me I need to quit rocking around so much when I'm talking. So I'm gonna try to be more stable. The thing is, I'm like wide awake. So it's hard for me to just contain right now. I'm just up and moving. But I had an awesome conversation this morning at the gym. Yes, I realized 5 o'clock in the morning in Arizona, and I've already been to the gym. That's just the way it goes. But I was there and I saw a friend, and I was asking her how she was doing, and she said, "I don't know, I'm just doing." And I was like, "Hey, what's going on, Jazz? How you doing? Um, you might like this." Um, she said, "I'm just doing." It's like, "I don't know, I'm just not feeling motivated." And I was like, I asked her why, and she said, well, I set some goals for myself, and and I'm not seeing the weight move on the scale, but my clothes are are fitting better, and I look better. She's like, no, I've lost over 100 pounds. I was like, man, you should be so proud of yourself. Like, but what's the deal? She's like, I don't know. It's just the number on the scale is like I'm down, and it's just these last 40 pounds. I'm like, yeah, but you just said that your clothes fit better and you feel better. And she was like, "Yeah," but I was like, "I think the thing is you need to, readjust what your motivation is. Like, what is your goal? Are you trying to walk around looking like a number, or are you trying to look better?" And she's like, "Well, she's like, I don't know." I was like, "Well, I'll tell you like this. Like when I got into fitness, it was partially, partially because I was rear-ended by a drunk driver and I had 2 bulging discs, and the doctor said, "Exactly. You gotta celebrate the victories." I mean, you woke up, Jazz. Like, what do you need after waking up? I mean, after you wake up, your options are pretty much limitless. The way I feel, you just anything you wanna do, what you wanna become, are basic once you wake up. So that's the first victory. But, I was telling her that when I got into working out, I was rented by a drunk driver, and I needed to work out because I had to. And that's what I'm doing, right? You know me, these kids, right? um, and so I needed to work out to avoid surgery. But my that was all well and good. But in actuality, I'm from Florida. I'm from Oviedo, Florida. I grew up around the beach, right? So one day I call up my boys, I pick them up, and we go to the beach, and we get out of the car, and they all take their shirts off, and they got like chest and shoulders and abs, right? And and the girls are all looking at them, and these are guys I've known my entire life, and the girls are all checking them out, and I'm looking at them like, so nobody told me we were working out. Like this is what we do now. Now we work out. So I made a decision. I was like, yo, I am not doing this. My goal was to be able to. My honest motivation to go to the gym was to take my shirt off at the beach. That was why I went. Now, certain things had to happen for that to. I had to do certain things for that to happen, right? So what I noticed first was my boys, what I saw as far as the goal, what I wanted, or I wanted a big chest. At the time, I was 140 pounds. So, but to even out the chest, you got to have strong shoulders. Um, Also, the adverse to the chest is going to be the back. So, you got to have a strong back. When you put the workout in, you got to watch what you eat because you can't eat foods that are then going to take away from all the work you put in. So, while usually when I ask clients during the initial consultation, why do you want to work out? Why do you want to do this? And everyone always says, they want to be healthy, which is all well and good. But, then I always ask, or maybe there was a situation that you felt, you too, Rod. Um, Maybe there's a situation that you felt like you got out of the shower, the the steam cleared away from the mirror. You look in the mirror and you were like, I don't want to look like this anymore. and that would be your honest motivation. Now, health is going to be a byproduct, right? Because you're going to have to work out to achieve your honest motivation, your goal, looking a certain way. You're going to have to work out. You're going to have to do cardio. You're going to have to eat certain things. You're going to have to limit the intake of certain foods and eat other foods. So the health is going to happen. But what's going to get you up every day is your motivation, like why, your reason, your why you're doing this. And so when the goal or the intent is to look better, then you achieve the healthy aspect of it. So I'm just telling her, you know, just remember why you're doing this. And she thanked me. And another example, um, got kind of lost for a second, but I'm back. I was talking to a guy once, and and this is another thing about honest motivation. And he said, I asked him, why do you want to work out? Right? And he said, well, Frank, I want to be able to throw the football with my son. And I was like, all right, that's cool. The guy had played some college football. He was still in his early 30s or so, so wasn't an older guy. But so I'm like, all right, but how old is your son? He's like, oh, he's two. I was like, you can't throw a football with a 2-year-old? Like, what's this guy clocking? Like, should I invest in this guy? Like, what are we doing? And he's like, all right, Frank, all right. So here's what really happened. Last summer, I took my boys to the pool, and there was a guy already out there, and he took his shirt off, and he had, like a chest and stuff. And one of my sons looked at me and was like, Daddy, why don't you look like that? And I was like, and he's like, and at that point, man, I was just like, I want to, I want to work out, I want to change. I was like, yeah, bro, that's your honest motivation. That when you wake up and you see your son every day, that is your reason, that is your why. You can't escape that. So when you wake up, and it's time to eat certain foods, you are going to remember why you're eating that food. When it's time to work out, you're not going to miss out on your workout because you're doing that workout for a reason. You're there because you want to inspire and be something for your son. So work towards that, and that is always the goal. When I'm training someone, like whenever I do a consultation, I have so many people talk to me about working out, and the unfortunate thing is that they never start because they won't fully commit to their honest motivation. Like I have folks, I'm so serious, Frank. I just got to do this one thing, and then I'm gonna call you, and I just got to do this, and then I'm gonna call you. I'm ready, Frank, because I'm tired. And it's like they always skirt around the answer when I ask them. All right, so why do you want to do this? What is your motivation? Like, I just think it's time. Like, it's time for a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But is that really gonna motivate you? So it's when you're ready to change, you have to look at yourself and establish like, what do I want to do? Is it I'm doing it for my kids, which is definitely possible. Because whoever whatever your motivation is, it's your motivation. I mean, mine was, to go to the beach and take my shirt off, which in turn changed me into a bodybuilder and a trainer, and and all these things. But it all spiraled from my initial honest motivation, and the byproduct of what you're going to do is going to come from your honest motivation. Kids are very brutal, but kids are honestly brutal, and the kids will say exactly what, you need to hear. Like kids notice these things. They can see, kids hear, you say certain things, That's why, I'll say this, it's you have to be careful what you say to yourself because you're listening, you know. And keep it in line, with honest motivation. When I train people, if they have certain things that they do that kind of hold on to their unhealthy ways. Like, there's a guy, like his name is John, or so his nickname is Big J, or some other name that's synonymous with being big or overweight. First things first. Okay, we're changing your name. I'm not calling you anything that has to do with that. Because that's not who you are. So we're going to get away from that completely. Um, some people's defense mechanism is to make jokes about their weight and to make it comical about how much they eat and things like that. And I will never laugh at that. It's not funny to me. Um, I'll tell you to stop. When I train people, I tell them all the time, we don't use the F word. Not that F word, fat. I do not let anyone I train say the word fat. Because when is fat in describing a person ever used FAT, not you 90s kids, they're going to say PHAT, but FAT, when is that ever used in a positive form to describe someone? So we never use that word. What we use is, I'm not where I want to be. All right. And then we switch that into, I'm going to work to be who I want to be, though. But I don't bring any negativity into the universe of how we're training. It's always based on understanding why you want to change, by realizing, who you were and who you are at the time, but more focused on who you want to be and where you're going. And that's going to be all set and dictated by your honest motivation. All right. Hey, now, if you need some assistance, if you're at a point in your training regimen where you're at a plateau, you've hit a wall and you need some help getting over that, or if you want to start, it's finally, all right, Frank, it's that time. I'm ready. I'm really ready to have an honest conversation about my honest motivation, and I want to get started. Hey, just go ahead and send me a message. I'm always here. It's Frank Hamilton, online fitness coach. The man with the motto: be grinding or be nothing. And enjoy the rest of your day.